sounds so stupid to say, but I've been really on that tip lately of like getting to know women before having sex with them,
It'd be wild.
which is
It'd be
like, oh,
wild.
word, yeah, yeah.
This is gonna sound so stupid. I've been on this kick.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
just
I'm
learning of
just
this hot new tip. You know what I mean?
Have you
Like,
guys tried empathy? Have you heard about this empathy stuff? It's pretty fucking dope, bro.
holy shit. Did you guys know that women are fucking people too?
I tried
Yo.
taking ayahuasca, and I
No.
think, bro, I think women have feelings, bro. I don't know. I think
but
we
yo.
do too. It's crazy.
See, that's a red flag. It's a red flag.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Welcome everybody to Waving the Red Flag, the #1 Dungeons and Dragons sex podcast, as well as dating in the universe. It's Eddie and Josh, joined today by Tom D.L. Murphy, comedian, though lacking in
wow, are
confidence.
you sure
Well,
about it?
I wasn't sure if because you feel like, maybe you wanted to say you're a funk musician, you know what I mean? So,
Comedian, podcaster,
funk musician
Renaissance
extraordinaire,
man, funk musician,
peanut butter aficionado,
owner of a band.
Peanut butter
D&D master,
aficionado.
dick slinger.
Definitely. Dick slinger, I would never, would never be so arrogant as to call that myself. But if you're bestowing the title upon me, then how could I say no?
How would you
Funk musician.
describe the way that you administer penis? Sling dick so much as you a dick flicker? I don't know. How would you describe it? Here, have a little dick, baby.
I don't know if I administer any kind of penis. I don't think I'm dealing penis in big enough volumes to say that I administer it.
It's low doses, niggas microdosing penis.
Exactly.
It did.
Microdosing penis, but not
Calculation.
dosing micro penis. Okay, it's not a micro
Okay,
penis.
got you,
Just
got you.
people are microdosing the regular.
Small
penis,
amounts
okay?
of an average size penis, not average sizes
That's
of a
correct.
small penis. Okay, got it. Got you. Understood.
Important.
Understood.
Important. Okay.
But you said you were out here.
That's an
Female
adequate
listeners.
term for dick flicker, though. That's actually an adequate definition for dick flicker. Everything you say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, that's a weird verb to choose to
Here, have a little
administer
bit.
it. You know, it's like-
Have a
yeah,
sprinkle of dick.
exactly. It's like Salt Bay, but penises.
Yeah.
Right, but with dick. Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, man. Yo, for
anyway,
real, for
no, I
real?
would say I dish out cock in the regular way.
That
And
was a good strong cock too. That was good.
It was, right?
That was good.
I give him the cock, the
I
old
give him a little
rooster,
bit of cock.
the old
I gotta
morning glory.
go. I gotta go, man. I gotta go.
You gotta go give the lady in your basement some cock. Yeah.
Oh
very nice.
God, Jesus. Yeah.
Will
filled up.
Smith came out with an autobiography recently. And one of the stories in it was basically how he had so much sex that it got to a point where he developed a what was the word?
Psychosomatic, I think.
Yes, he developed like psychosomatic like reactions to to busting a nut. Like he would feel sick, like he would feel like he had to throw up, like he would have like physical knee jerk reactions to an orgasm. Like this isn't what I want.
Because he was getting it that frequently.
Do you buy that though?
It's Will Smith, baby. Why would I doubt that? Why would you say some shit like that about yourself?
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because of the whole fucking deal with his fucking wife and him crying in the interview. I'm not abreast exactly of all the shit and the events. But the deal with Jada Pinkett and they have like an open relationship, but only she can fuck people. That's what I heard. Again, I'm only working with like pieces of information.
That just sound like some tabloid.
I know.
Right?
But like,
They got an open relationship, but Will Smith's door is closed, right?
Yeah. Nah,
That's
Will
what I
Smith
heard,
is
man. I
just
don't
like
know.
he's out there in the streets too, but because these niggas won't confirm or deny anything properly. You know what I mean? They won't just come out and say, "Yo, we're out here fucking. I fucked X, Y, and Z. This is what I'm doing." They're still half private, but pretending to be honest at the same time. Like they're doing the red table talk, but they're not saying everything. But I think the idea is Will is out here fucking. He's just not out here letting it be known. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he's doing it
He
discreetly,
ain't
which Jada
messing with it.
also was. But then one of her hoes let the shit out, so then it became a narrative of like Will Smith is a cuck, and then just everybody started running with that and telling stories that were like based off half bullshit that didn't really have anything to do with anything. So now there's this whole picture that's been painted of their marriage that isn't really necessarily reflected.
But like even with the movies and shit, like
Oh, movies
fucking
alone,
Men in
he
Black,
was the
Independence
biggest
Day.
movie star ever at one point.
Yeah.
Like,
So I mean, yeah, like absolutely, he was probably oversexed. Like Will Smith, you know how Will Smith had just about every single like black woman, like black actress of notoriety, like beautiful black actress of notoriety on the Fresh Prince as either like a
true.
love interest, something like that. So, so I can absolutely believe that he was so oversexed to the point where he was just trying to fill like some void with pussy. And it just got to the point where it's just like I can't do it. Nah, like I feel sick. I can't even do this no
I
more.
could
Like, this
believe
is
it.
not enjoyable.
But I do think that some of Will Smith's like authenticity comes across as a little bit like fake authenticity. Like he's still not showing. He's acknowledging that the mask exists and then taking it off to show us another mask. You know what I'm saying? Like this nigga's just doing like this, and it's
Yes.
another mask underneath. And it's like we understand that you're trying to, but you're tell us some dick stories. Tell us some real stories. Like because I started to have so much sex that I was becoming sick thinking about it as like a very Christian Mormon like goody boy way of talking about your hoe times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell us about
Goody
the
boy.
threesomes. Tell us about, you was running trains on like if you really want to be honest, then be honest. Don't tell us about the way that being too much sex was like I get that part, but you got to show us both.
So you want him to come out with like a book like a Brittany Renner like one of these like Instagram bad bitches they come out with they like little tell all book and they just got all of their whole stories in there like
I
that's
mean,
that's
if
what
you
you
want
want
to
from
say
Will
if you
Smith.
want to say you're being authentic, if you want to say you're Denzel style and you're private, then
wanna
keep it
say.
private. But if you like, because Denzel don't talk about nothing. If you ask Denzel what's going on, he goes, "That's not your business." If you want to do that, then cool. But if you want to make a reality TV show and make all of this stuff about how you want to take the mask off and show people who you really are, but you're still doing this halfway squeaky clean version of authenticity, just comes across kind of weird to me.
That's like the thing like that kind of like doesn't upset me but it's just like come on y'all throwing so much dirt on Will Smith's name like he wasn't out here getting it in
Right?
like he ain't out
Man,
here getting
yeah.
it in too or like you know
Yeah. My bad. My bad. My bad.
But
No,
he
my bad. I
does
was
I
part of
mean
just
but
that.
it's
yeah.
just
No,
like
I agree. I agree. I agree. Because
you
I'm a
know
huge fan. Like I admire the fuck out of him. I admire the way. Like and Will also in Fresh Prince. Like he's cool as fuck. Like I mean, I guess maybe being like not being a fucking killer, makes you slightly corny somehow. But it's like motherfucker was funny, charming, interesting, good looking, athletic. Like what you got to do? Murder motherfuckers and sell drugs to be cool?
right
Like
Dope
yeah, I don't know.
style.
Yeah,
right you got to have that danger and that edge no
you
even
do
if you
have to have a little
fucking
bit of an edge.
save the world multiple times in movies
He's
a blockbuster fucking film star.
aliens, zombies, robots. He done fought them all.
But you ain't got that street edge, nigga.
Yeah, you're not Tupac, man. But I do want to see the real tell-all book because I watched that Greatest Shape of Your Life shit. He still have bullshitting, which is fine because you're right. Like you can be authentic without telling every fucking thing. So like maybe my challenge is a little bit unrealistic, but I want somebody who fuck Will Smith to come out and write a book, and so we can really see, how fresh the Fresh Prince really is. I want to see that. No?
Sounds like you just want to know how good he fucks.
Yeah.
I mean,
What type
yeah.
of drugs he does, all of that. You know what I
I
mean?
mean,
Do you think he fucks with drugs though? That's what I'm saying. He
Definitely.
seems so clean cut. Yeah, he's dope, Josh. Definitely he fucks, but like every time he's on a video, he's always like, "Hey, it's Will Smith," and you're like,
Too
"Why?
much.
Like, be regular." Like, you
yeah,
know?
he does
Josh
do too
just
much. He
don't want
does
to
do a
hear it.
lot.
Josh is like,
No, 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 no,
"Will
no, no,
Smith
no.
is ill. Fuck you guys."
No, because I started watching his Instagram videos and I started to get tired. I mean, like, I was like, yo, okay, Will Smith, you're doing a lot, but you're doing a lot just for a simple fucking video. This shit is edited to movie quality just for a simple card trick. And I'm like, bro, yeah, whatever.
What's the dopest Will Smith movie you guys think?
Probably Men in Black.
Yo, yeah, Men in Black was dope when he's chasing the alien in the first scene and he's got like parachute pants on or something.
Yeah.
And then I remember like Tommy Lee like brings him into like, the Men in Black place and he
Mhm.
goes up to like Rip Torn, like whatever, like the boss
Yeah.
and like Rip's like, "Why is Will Smith here?" Tommy Lee's like, he
Damn,
chased
that was
down a
good.
Mandalorian.
Good
Right.
voices, dude. Jesus,
Fire
that was so
Tommy Lee.
good. What the fuck? He's got a Matthew McConaughey
Yeah,
and Garth
the
Brooks
voice
and, and the boss from the Men in Black organization from the
Rip
1990s
Torn.
film. That was good. Fuck.
I didn't even know
Yeah,
that was
so
his
it was,
name.
why is Will Smith here?
That's
And
so
then
good.
This shit should
What
be
the fuck?
animated. Like they should animate you telling these stories.
That's so good. Holy
Tommy
shit.
Lee's like, he chased down a full-grown Mandalorian with on foot. And Rip Torn's like, a full-grown man. And they're like, he chased down an alien on foot. I remember being like, damn, that's fucking wild. You know what I
Right?
mean? And you remember the first scene where he's climbing the building and shit?
Yeah.
And then later you're like, oh, that guy's a fucking alien. And Will Smith just ran his ass down. That was gangster as
they were
fuck.
they were doing
so.
parkour and jumping up shit, and his fit was fantastic. He was just like 90s,
Yeah.
like fucking I'm cool as
Yes.
shit,
90s.
parachute
Yes.
pants, Tim's,
Yes.
like I'm a cop
So
too.
sick.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Yes.
it was very cool.
And he had his badge on like a fat chain, and you were like,
Oh,
that's so
yeah.
fucking ill, dude.
Fucking
It
Big
was-
Willie style, bitch.
Yeah, it was cool as fuck. And the concept, that movie,
Yeah.
the movie, like that first movie was
Movie was
great. Like when Tommy Lee Jones sits him down on the bench and goes like, a person is smart, but people are stupid. You know what I mean? Like until such and such, we knew that the Earth was flat. Until a second ago, you knew that like we were alone in the universe. Who knows what other dumb shit you're gonna know over the course of your life or whatever. And I was just like, this whole movie feels like, yeah, this is real. Like we're watching it
Yeah.
like it's, but the MIB motherfuckers are real. This is too close to home. It's strange, yeah.
Yeah, it was like, dude, it got you in the feels. Like that scene, you're like,
There's something
I
missing.
don't know who directed it, but it was great.
It was
Fucking
very
Earth
solid.
bitch.
As was
So
iRobot and I Am Legend. He's got a lot of wins. Even
And,
Wild West was
and
kinda fun.
Hancock.
Hancock was
Wild
great,
West
man.
was sick.
Hancock.
Hancock, I did
Fucking
like, yeah.
Hancock was.
I've seen
Yep.
it 4 or 5 times. It's actually really fucking good. Like it's actually a super good movie. I don't know why people
Really
don't
good
like
movie.
it. A drunk asshole superhero that's actually super fucking interesting and was really fun. And yeah, I don't know. It was nice. I like to
Dude,
see an asshole Will.
my-
It was kind of cool.
Yeah, no.
But real quick, I got a question for y'all real quick. I wanted to see where both of y'all weigh in on this. So this lady, she made this birth control device for men. You put your balls in it, and it boils your balls in ultrasonic water, and it sterilizes you. And it sterilizes you for like 2 months at a time. So you only got to like bathe your balls for every like 2 months, and you're functionally sterile. And once you stop, your fertility comes back after around 6 months or so. What do y'all think? A lot of people are like, oh, it'll
Dude.
cause cancer, blah, blah, blah. I think it's a great idea.
If the tests are in and it's fucking FDA approved, fuck me up, dude. I will fucking sous vide my nuts, no problem. Let's go, baby.
Delicious with a little bit of rosemary
I
and
will
garlic
make
in the
my
bag.
balls a tempura.
Exactly. Yeah,
Dip
sign
those.
me up. Easy foot
100%.
bath, ball bath. It's all the same shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
No sweat.
Yeah.
No sweat.
And it looks
Yeah.
like the design, it looks really sleek. Like it looks like a VR
well.
headset before
They-
your nuts.
They almost look comfortable.
They look
like-
nice. Yeah.
Cause you just put like warm water and like you heat it up and it's just like you just dip your testicles
Yeah.
in this cup in this sleek looking
Real quick.
It looks
technologically
super
sound cup.
it looks super high tech.
But can it hold chocolate syrup instead of water? Because,
I thought you was
trying
gonna
to
say,
get a
but can
little
it hold my massive balls? I don't know. Do they come in different sizes?
It's also funny that you guys like it looks sleek. Like that would be the deciding factor for you. She's like, I made this wonderful technology. And you're like, yeah, but it doesn't look that cool. So I'm
But
out.
how does it look though? Yeah.
No, I think
Right.
that counts for a lot, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to have
It does.
ugly shit in your house. And
Yeah.
when you pull it out, and
Right,
you got to
right,
like, if it's got like a fucking crank chain on it or some shit, and you're like, oh, sorry, babe, just a second. Let me sterilize myself before we fuck real quick. And then
It just started vibrating.
that'd be great for like a night out, you know? And like the way it's set up, you can kind of like put it underneath you. So you could like sit in a chair and be doing some other shit while your balls are baking. You know what I mean? And I don't know if it has a timer on it to
picturing
like
it
let
like
you know
a-
when you're done, but ding.
If it wasn't going to like make me permanently sterile or like fuck my dick and balls up in any kind of way, yeah, I'd do it. Because I mean, like, why? Because for a woman to get like an IUD, that thing that they just place up in their cervix or
Yeah.
whatever, wherever it goes.
Yeah, I don't know, up the
That
butt.
shit
I'm
is
not sure.
extremely painful.
Yeah.
but it's extremely
Yeah.
painful to insert. And then, like, it might also cause like heavier bleeding for, they just have like different side effects they have to worry about. So, I'd like bathe my balls in ultrasound for a couple minutes every 2 months.
Yeah, that seems
Yeah,
way
dude,
easier
this
if
is
it would
only the
work.
this is the first iteration. They're gonna come out with first it's just bathing your balls, and then it's like lemon scented essential oils for
Oh,
your balls and sterile
yeah.
at the same time. It turns into like a ball spa, not just a ball
Yeah.
sterilization.
Oh my
Shit, you could
god.
probably get
Sounds
even
Oh
great.
my
wilder
god.
with
What
it.
if they massage your balls and sterilize them at the same time?
Ooh. Well, now you fuck
There you
around
go. Yeah,
and
fuck me
nut
up.
and be sterile at the same time, so now you done fucked your whole night up, you know?
But that
Now
might
for
make
it,
it
you
even
gotta
better.
Oh, that's great, bro. I'm
you gotta
sterile and I'm
sample.
about to last for an hour. That's actually a great fucking
What's up?
idea.
What's up, man?
But to your but to your point on a serious note,
What if your
it's a
nuts
full
like
service.
felt even like? What if your nuts like felt like 10 times better, like from a result of like getting your ball sack neutralized?
Then it'd be
Neuralizer.
good. You just stop fucking. It still works. You're like, why would I ever fuck again? I'll just use the ball massager 9000 and just nut all myself all night.
It's like 10 times better orgasms for men, like how women have like different levels of orgasms.
Yeah.
You imagine a man squirting? Like, girl, you made a you made a nigga explode for real, for real.
You after you come, it's like just water. Like it's just like what comes out is just fully clean. There's no sperm left in it. It's just like that was the cleanest nut I've ever had. Jesus Christ, shit, I could drink
Oh
that
my
again.
god.
That was incredible. Holy hell.
Yeah, right.
Um,
Like, what if and the women love it? Because they already talk about how the nut tastes.
they like, is that
Mm.
Dasani? That's delicious. Oh my god, that's great. Is that
Oh no,
Fiji?
no.
Dude, if
Oh
it
my god,
start
no.
yeah, if it started to flavor your nut and you could buy different flavors to like massage your balls and then get nut flavors, you know what I
Oh,
Oh
mean? And
yeah.
then all the
true.
girls would be like, "Oh, last night I had the coconut flavor. What do you have? I had
Oh
strawberry."
yeah.
Fuck,
I
that would
would
be
Sick.
I would
fantastic.
make my nut hazelnut flavor
That's actually a
Oh.
great flavor.
just to kind of go along with the theme.
See,
Yeah.
I think y'all are thinking too
Wait,
restrictive.
what's
I
the
would go with
theme?
like fried chicken or something. Or like tempura,
I
you
would
know, like you
That's a
said, or
little
like sushi, you know what I mean? Steak and potatoes, just something, wholesome, you know
see
what I'm saying? Nachos. Ooh,
this is
nachos.
like
like Willy
this is like
Wonka.
Yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say it's like Birdie Bot's every flavored beans, but it's
Yeah, every flavored nut.
Willie
Yeah.
Overgold's every flavored nut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can just turn a little. But yo, I wanted to say some serious shit. I wanted to talk about like the fact that or like a lot of dudes surprisingly were like I don't want to take that risk, etc., etc. Because women always complain that like men aren't willing to take on birth control responsibilities, which I always felt surprised by because I feel like most men actually probably would relative to
Yeah.
women. Because they have a lot of options that we don't have, and I feel like men actually would use them. It's not because men don't want them.
I think the comment section that you're referring to is the quote vocal minority. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
just the big idiots of men be like, I'm not gonna boil my fucking balls, and whereas most guys are like, oh, dude, you mean like I'm definitely not gonna get anybody pregnant? Like,
Right.
yeah, fuck me up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Like,
yeah,
oh, Nick, sign me up.
One
Like,
hundred
yeah,
percent.
exactly.
and it's gonna make my nuts feel 10 times better.
I mean, we added that feature, but yeah,
Yeah.
But we could dream, man.
yeah,
Homies can
100%.
dream. We can dream.
Yeah, if
I
there was a
want better
pill
nuts
or
for all men in 2030.
Yeah.
but like women, if there was birth control pills or any shit like that, I feel like but I mean, apparently, like men are resistant to like vasectomies and shit like that. I think, but not new men.
What's resistant? How are you gonna resist a vasectomy? Seems pretty black and white to me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, like they don't want to get
what are
one.
you saying?
Mm.
Oh. Okay.
What do you wait?
No.
What did you think?
I'll
I
see
meant?
myself out.
No, but what did you think I
No,
meant?
no, because I think I thought the same thing you thought.
Wait, what did
Like I thought 'cause you were like that you meant like just sometimes it just doesn't take.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
that
yeah.
guy got a
This nut
vasectomy
is
and
so
he was like,
goddamn potent.
just
It just pushes straight
redoes the
through.
tubes.
Yeah. It just comes out your belly button
I was
like,
like-
fuck it, I'll find a way out.
Yeah.
No, but that's actually also true. They do self reverse sometimes.
Oh,
It's wild.
I don't know if you're fucking with me.
No,
I
no, no,
think-
no,
I
no,
think
no.
you're
That's
bullshitting.
I'm not fucking with. They do, they do actually sometimes self reverse, which is crazy because it's like they literally cut the shit and then tie it in two separate knots. But the shit, life finds a way, and then your nut gets back through.
man.
Fucking Houdini's hanging out in my vast deference. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
just
Just
fucking
Right.
undoing the straight jacket, you know.
I would be like so proud if my like nuts just did that by itself. Like, what kind of fucking like superhero, superhuman nuts I got? Fucking champs down here. You know what I mean?
Wolverine tubes.
Right. Self
yeah, it's like
repairing
that
nuts.
happens, and then you're like, oh man, I can't get a vasectomy now. They just struggled back. It's like I don't know. It's like The Blind Side, but you're nuts. You know what I mean? How am I gonna like cut him
Cut them
again
down
after he just
again.
overcame all this shit?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
They fought to be here. That's true.
they deserve to be here at that point.
But would y'all get like
Yeah.
there was like a interurethral device? Like if there was some shit that they could shove up your dick hole the way they put a IUD inside women, would you get that? And you could just leave it there. You leave it there. It hurts the first time, but you leave it there. It's cool, and you can't get nobody pregnant. And when they need it, they've got like there's like a couple of strings like this that hang out of your dick hole, and they can rip that back out when they need to, and you're good to go.
Mm-mm,
But only on the start and the
nope.
end. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to do it daily
Mm-mm.
or any shit. It's just
But
once.
it's a
Okay.
string hanging out my dick hole. Like, I mean, God, that sounds disgusting, but there's a string hanging out of
Maybe
my
yeah, maybe I
penis.
designed it wrong. Let's say it's like it's not hanging all the way out. It's like an inch in. You know what I mean?
Nah, nah, that is
Oh.
constant pain, bro. That is
Yeah,
constant
because I
agony.
think that would actually
You can't get
hurt
around that.
way more than an
Uh,
IUD for a dude. I
Yeah.
think that would cause a lot of pain. But to answer your question
Don't
more
say that so
hypothetically,
cavalierly, boy. They will kill you.
you misogynist.
yeah,
How
if
dare you?
if there
You have
was
no
like
idea what we
Compare
go
your
through.
penis to women's pain.
whatever, quote me, man. I don't know. I'm not a fucking doctor, but that's my guess. But if there was a thing where it was like we could stick it in our urethra and then eventually we could get it out somehow,
Yeah.
and it was like yes, painful during the procedure, but besides that, unnoticeable. Well, I feel like what I have to say is absolutely I would do it because women do that, and I've been with a woman who's used
It's
an IUD,
great.
so
I
I'm
Yeah.
kind of
love
like
women with
indebted.
IUDs. They're
So
so
great,
good.
so
There's
great.
no hormonal bullshit with the pill. There's no shit that you don't have to take nothing out, put nothing in. You just boom, nothing against a fucking
One and
copper
done.
barrier. It's great.
Yep.
So great. I dated a lady for about a year. She had a IUD, and it was just
It's so
it was
nice,
so
right?
great. I
Could
still
you
look
Just
back on that
reminiscing
time and
that.
smile.
could you ever feel the strings on your dick?
Yes, I think once or twice I did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
little
yeah,
bit
yeah, yeah,
weird.
yeah.
Little whiskers inside,
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
tickling your
yeah,
pee pee.
yeah.
Um,
Welcome to the end of the line, fellas.
Your question about the male birth control thing
mm,
reminds me of like the question of if you had kids, would you let them fuck their partners like while they lived in your house? Like teenage kids, they're like, I'm gonna have sex. Do you let them fuck in their house?
yeah,
Same as the birth control for me, I have to say yes because I had sex with a lady in her house when we were teenagers with her parents knowing they were like, yes, do this. So now I'm just like,
yeah.
okay, well, I have to do it. Otherwise, I'm a piece
I
of shit.
would.
So
They just need to not be loud. If I can hear them, nah, it's a problem. You're gonna have to move out. But if it's yeah, but
say
just
word.
that they are doing it, that's fine. Wait, Josh,
I agree. Yeah, that's why
this
I didn't
nigga,
edit
you
it
don't
in.
agree. You don't fucking agree. You just don't want to
No,
get
I do.
canceled.
I do.
Okay,
I do. I agree.
okay. So you don't mind your daughter getting railed, in your home. You cool with that?
Her
You're such a piece of shit, Eddie.
her pussy, her power. I guess
Okay,
Let's
okay.
go.
She's not gonna be getting railed.
He's
She's gonna
got
be
some
because
riding.
responses
Wherever.
ready.
because I plan on because my son and my daughter they will be raised exactly the same.
Mm,
I'm going to treat them exactly the same. And if one's fucking, the other one's fucking too. Or if they want to fuck or not to fuck, who gives a fuck?
Who gives a
Just
fuck?
be
Ooh, shit.
just
Sorry, that was
be
smooth.
responsible.
That was good.
Mm.
That was good. If they want to fuck or want not to fuck, who gives a fuck? Damn. Well said, Mr. Moore.
Josh got the cue cards out here. He's
Nah,
like,
that was
no,
clean.
I know,
my
right?
daughter and son will be raised the same no matter what.
Ask not what your nut can do for you, but what you can do for your nut. Yeah, that's good. Do you, I don't know if would want to raise my daughter exactly the same as a son, because on paper that sounds real good, but the more I'm thinking about the specifics of it, it actually kind of almost doesn't really make sense.
I don't know. I would probably raise them pretty similar. I mean, offhand, the only difference I can think of is like for a girl, I'd be like, hey, make sure that you don't get raped because that will
Mm,
happen to you way more frequently than it will happen to your brother.
definitely.
But
I feel like that's a big part of things
Yeah.
though. Like that spreads out to like a lot of shit. Like every time they're going out, every time they're going to a party, every time they're having like it's a
Yeah.
big ass section of life that I feel like just completely changes how you raise a person, how you teach them what trust looks like, how they like down to how they dress. Not that you want to control a person's body, but just you need to understand that there's an impact that this will have. It's not a right one. It's kind of like the difference between raising like a black kid and a white kid. Like of course they're the same,
Yeah.
but you're going to give them a whole different talk about a whole bunch of how they express themselves.
Yeah, I think that's a really good analogy. I
That's
think
true.
that's exactly on the nose. Yeah.
And
It's
it's definitely true.
My well, assuming that we actually all do follow through with this, none of our children will have daddy issues. Or well, fuck, actually that's not even true because you can have daddy issues and have a daddy. You know what I mean? That can be the worst type of daddy issues when a motherfucker's around and negligent. You know. Do y'all think that that's a valid concept? Because it gets brought up a lot, mostly to shame, primarily to shame women, but
Like she should have
dude,
had
I
her
think it's a
father's not
thing.
in her life, that sort of thing.
I never really knew what it meant before. It just seemed like a general insult to say that a woman was like a hoe and didn't respect men. It was like just our daddy issues. Like your shit is fucked up and you're a hoe. Like it just seemed like that. But the more I kind of start to hear what people are saying or talk to women who identify as having daddy issues, it seems like it's a more specific set of problems of like emotional instability and hypersexuality and just a whole bunch of other shit, toxic
Abandonment
behavior,
issues.
abandonment issues to where they're like can be controlling, that kind of shit.
But
To where I'm like, oh, maybe yeah,
but dudes also have mommy issues too.
yeah.
And that could also lead to guys being aggressive with women, an early trauma around like being angry or like viewing women in such a way because your mom treated you in such a way or like neglected you or didn't show you a lot of love. So 100% like that the same can be said for men too, but the behavior behind it might be a little bit different, or the behavior that men can get away with due to similar traumas is different.
What do you think? What would you say mommy issues sort of look like? Like, what if you had to list off niggas
Uh,
with mommy issues? What do they tend to do?
like they don't respect themselves, respect their bodies. They basically like male hoes too. But
I'm
that's what
listening
I'm saying.
carefully, checking to see if I fall into any of these boxes as you're talking about.
Okay, run down the inventory, Mr. Moore, and see
I mean,
what.
shit, I might too, got but
Put a
but
finger
I also,
down.
I mean,
Yeah.
well, right. But some, and then they also might not respect women, and then like those could be like some of the men you hear like you just cuss women out, and like just in general pass them by. Like if they get rejected, that's fine, old bitch. I don't give a fuck. Say shit like that. I mean, I think those sorts of behaviors could fall under maybe having some other issues.
It, is that because when I think of daddy issues, a lot of times it seems to be because a father was either abusive or quite frequently wasn't there or was like kind of checked out or neglectful or just like was kind of half there. Usually mothers tend not to be deadbeats just because of the way the whole birthing shit is set up. So they can be shitty parents, but they tend not to be absent parents as much. So do you think mommy issues is negligence or it's like traumatic abuse from mothers causing this behavior? Like emotional incest type
I feel
shit
like
or what?
more the latter.
Emotional,
Like, not even as far as like, what did you say? Incest? What did you say?
right?
Emotional
Emotional incest?
Emotional
incest.
incest, is that a thing?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
what is that?
Oh,
Emotional
that's big
Emotional
incest?
time shit.
incest.
That's when girls be like, "Oh, my son is my king." That's that shit. Where
Oh
mothers
yeah,
treat
okay, that's
their
nasty.
young little boys as if they're their husbands, you know what I mean?
Yo, that is fucked up.
And it's super common. Like people do it and they
Yo,
don't
shout
even
out
Yeah.
realize
to
that it's weird.
Tom Brady kissing his son. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Ah,
yeah, yeah.
I feel
I
like
mean,
there's
kissing
a
the son.
I don't know. I think there's you can
Kissing his
kiss.
son on the lips?
Yeah, it depends on the type of kiss. I feel like it's whatever. Like we sexualize that, but it's like it doesn't necessarily need to be sexual, you know?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't necessarily need to be, but I feel like that one was
Oh, I
that one
haven't.
was over my line. I would
Oh,
not
he
want to
was
do
doing
that.
too much in the. I haven't seen the kiss, so I don't know. But I don't think if you want to kiss
Yeah.
your child on the lips, I feel like that's kind of whatever, depending on the nature of the kiss. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
still
you
gets
can
kind of
hug.
like
It's different types of hugs. You can hug too much. You know what I mean? But a hug isn't necessarily sexual. But you can make it sexual if you want to. And I feel like a kiss is that way too.
Just thinking like Like mom and a son are hugging, like squeezing each other's ass. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Just love my
It's
kid.
just
You know
a
what I
yeah.
mean?
My
Yeah,
kid,
exactly.
he got that ass from me.
It's nothing I haven't seen, son. But yeah, that's what the emotional incest shit is. Is when they're saying, "Oh, you're the man of the house," and they're like they emotionally dump on their own child and like complain to them about things. They look to their child to help them regulate their own emotions. So like, oh fuck, I just had such a good like a hard day today, Tyrone or whatever the child's name is, and then it's like now the child has to. Oh no, it's okay. Like, let's figure it out. We'll figure out the rent. Like, are you okay? Da 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 da. Let's go out to eat. I'll take you out to eat. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck, you're dating your son. This is fucking weird, And the son grows up fucked up
Yeah.
because of that.
Just to say, okay, first of all, yeah, and I'm happy you told me that term because that shit is really weird when that happens.
Yeah, right.
Mm,
But I think that because you just mentioned there, like, dumping emotionally, parents dumping emotionally.
mm.
I think that, yeah, if you do too much and you get to the point where it's emotional incest, then that's not good.
But
But I think it would be good in general for like parents
mm,
in our society to be a bit more emotionally open with
yeah,
their children. Like I've talked to my parents about that a bit. Like, yo, like you have to kind of what's going on in your head a bit more because now we're fucking adults, and
Mm.
it can't just be like I'm your dad. You know what I mean? Like, because that gets too stale for me, too old now.
oh
Like
yeah. I
we're
mean, because
adults,
I'm
and
too
I'm
old now. Like I know you're bullshitting, bro. Like I'm the age that you were
Right.
yeah,
when you were telling me shit when I was a kid. I'm like, nah, bro. I know what it's like now. Like I'm here, so you
yeah,
can't. I'm looking
yeah,
at where you were. You didn't know what the fuck you were doing. Now I realize what was really going on at the time.
yeah. And so my hypothesis, my opinion is that this kind of like openness between like parent and child should be introduced as like a gradient as the child
Yes.
ages. You know what I mean? So yeah, don't do emotional incest. That's whack.
Yeah.
But also like don't just be like the mom, or the dad. Like make sure you also show that you're a human too, because you are.
Right.
Don't fuck your kids, but do show affection.
Exactly, that's correct. Yeah,
I agree.
yeah.
Yeah,
If you're hitting their genitals, you've gone too far.
oh,
Anyway,
that's
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the keep it above the belt. Keep it above the belt.
Above the
You know what I
belt.
mean?
Above the
Yeah.
belt. Above the belt.
I mean, grabbing a knee isn't that. I mean, I guess it depends. A knee grab could be weird, but it's not necessarily right.
What do you mean a knee grab? More
Like a knee.
context,
Well,
please. Yeah.
because weirdly, like people's like the knees are quite an erogenous zone. Like in terms of like interaction, you know what I'm saying? Like if your
Mm.
homeboy laughs at your
Yes.
joke and grabs your knee, it's like, whoa, are we? You trying to fuck? Like that's a lot. But if your grandmother
Yeah.
does it, I guess I mean probably not. But then again, could be weird. But yeah, a knee is like a
No,
very. It's not like a shoulder or it's not a shoulder or a back. It's like that's sexual. You know what I mean? It's basically the bottom section of your thigh.
I feel like it's really contextual. Like, because I've had
Mm,
like I don't know if you guys ever had like the not the boomer generation, but like our grandparents.
the
They
silent
sometimes
generation.
do the knee grab.
Mm,
Is that what it is? Yeah. They sometimes do the knee grab, like, oh, Sonny, like one of those
mm,
knee grabs where they kind
yeah,
of,
Yeah.
and that's not sexual. That's like a grandma knee grab. That's like,
yeah,
Yeah.
oh,
I
grandma,
agree.
That's when you, like,
yes,
what are you
yeah,
doing there, yo? But when you hit them with the
Yeah,
massage,
yeah,
mm,
that
oh,
number,
once you
yeah,
start
no,
caressing
yeah,
shit,
yeah, you didn't even want to see that,
I didn't. That made me uncomfortable. I'll be honest.
right?
Nah, no,
You
thank you.
felt my hand on your knee, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah. Um, why are you harassing me through the call, dude? That's
Right.
I need to talk to HR. But I feel
yeah.
like that gradient is like you got to be grown before you start, and you got to be grown, and your child has to be somewhat stable before you start sharing. And I feel like should share more for the child's benefit than for to receive emotional support. Because you're right. I would like seeing vulnerability from a parent. I like the idea of that, and it feels like okay, cool. You don't like maybe I can help you, but it's not about helping you. It's about just understanding where you're coming from and understanding your limitations. But once you're like borrowing money from your kid or like calling it up because you're having an emotional crisis and they're your go-to person, I think that starts to become like a bit of a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the second point.
Mm,
When you're doing this introduction, it should be like conscious and not like you're saying, not a dump. Like It should be like, oh, I'm purposely being vulnerable in order to demonstrate to my child like good emotional practices.
Mm.
But I disagree. I think the commencement of the gradient should start should help get the child to a
Mm.
more stable place. So you
You're right.
start it, I would start it probably around like 14, somewhere around there, and start to show like, oh, like my son, I also have problems too. Here are some smaller ones that we can discuss, and I can show you my vulnerable side, etc. So, and then that would help the son or daughter, or whatever, kind of get
Mm.
to adulthood.
Yeah. Otherwise, they'll just be surprised, like all of a sudden, like, oh my God, mom's a person, when they're like 25. So you give them a little bit as they're like, oh, you're a teen. Like, I can let you know, like, the reason I'm hesitant about it is because I just feel like shit, like, I don't think that a parent should ever be in a situation where they let their child feel nervous about the material conditions of the home. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're
Okay,
homeless, that should
yes.
pretty much always be a surprise to your kid. And I know that sounds like maybe fucked up, but it's like, because telling them, yo, we might about to be homeless is probably worse than just being like, hey, look, we're homeless now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
First of all, no, I don't think that's fucked up. I think that's a pretty responsible philosophy.
yeah.
Um,
Don't let
I'm
them
not
know
not
until
sure if it's
we've already jumped out the plane. Like, no need to scare the baby with, because shit might not turn fucked up. But if it does, they're gonna be fucked up
yeah.
regardless. You don't need to let them know that the fucking waterfall is coming while y'all are going to it. Just keep them calm.
On the gradient, that's a way high difficult issue. So no, you
Yeah.
keep that one for later. But on the far one, it's like I don't know,
Yeah, what's the
maybe
little
like
stuff? Yeah.
talk to
Today I was
yeah.
stressed with, like, maybe you could like let them know, like, today my boss made me upset, like that type of shit, something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes,
I can feel that. I can
exactly.
feel that.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
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 those
yeah,
little,
yeah,
I do
yeah.
agree, those little like lessons that you give that are like little pseudo lessons to, like, because it's weird because when you're raising a kid, you're raising the adult that they're going to be, but almost all of the real adult shit is kind of inappropriate to teach like a 5-year-old, a 10-year-old. It's money, it's sex,
Yeah.
it's drugs, it's, conflict. It's like, you can't, so you got to give them baby versions of the shit. Because I was seeing somebody talk
I know.
like that you need to, and I thought it was such a good point. She was saying, I try and teach my toddlers consent. And I'm like, how the fuck you gonna teach a little baby about consent? Like, that's fucking. But she was like,
Mm.
I come from a very strong like a strong Latinx family, and motherfuckers hug and are really physically affectionate. That's a big part of it, and part of that is, all the kids, they come over and you go, hey, give your grandma a hug, give your grandpa a kiss, stuff like that. And she said, I don't teach my kids to ever have to give a hug or a kiss to anybody that they don't as an individual choose. So I never say, oh, go hug this uncle, go hug this auntie, none of that. Do you want to? If you don't, cool. We're not going to ask you again. That's the end of it. And if anybody does,
Yeah.
then we have a problem. And I was like, oh yeah,
That would I mean I don't know. I'm not a fucking child psychologist, but that sounds like it would work later. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Why would you have all these consent fail safes in your everyday family life and then get to a sexual encounter and just be like, "Oh, well, fuck that. I'm just going to do whatever I want now." You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And
Yeah.
learning early on, like, oh, I say what happens with my body. There's literally no one else with more authority over my body than me. There's no one that I need to make comfortable. There's no man that I need to. Oh, I don't want to. Because I feel like a lot of the Me Too shit is like, fuck, I don't want to make this powerful person feel uncomfortable. And I feel like learning early on, like, yeah,
yeah.
I'm 5, you're 50. Your discomfort about me not wanting to touch you is not my problem at all. And I'm super chill with that. You're mad about it? I don't give a fuck at all. It's got to carry into adulthood.
Man, even as a man, I had to learn to be cool with making people uncomfortable, even in like a
Oh yeah.
non-sexual situation. Like a big reason that I got into comedy is because I would be like I was I'm still am, but it's way better, but just terrified of conflict.
Mm-hmm.
No conflict, and conflict includes awkward situations.
Mm-hmm.
So I would always do my best to if there was ever silence in a social situation or whatever, I would always try to be fill it or make it go away. And one of the things I talk about with my therapist is just dude, it's fine with whether you're on a date, whether you're just chilling with homies, you're with your family. It's okay if there's an awkward moment. It's okay to be uncomfortable, which I think is a good general lesson we should teach everybody, not just in a sexual context or whatever. I think, that lesson needs to be said a bit more.
I completely fucking agree. Like that difficult
Absolutely.
being able to face your own anxiety around that shit. Yeah, I wish I was better at like conflict confrontation. Not that I'm terrible at it. Like I think I'm pretty good in most ways, but just I don't even feel like I confront my own feelings about shit in moments like that enough. Or even like rejecting girls. I'm like, there's definitely situations where I just let some shit happen. Not saying like, oh, it was a negative, bad type of situation, but just like, I don't want to hurt this person's feelings. Like, you know, that kind of stuff. And instead of just being like,
Yeah.
nah,
Dude,
I want you to go home.
Yeah.
I want you to leave. That's fine. You know.
dude, I had
Yeah.
go ahead, Josh, go ahead.
No, 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 no.
Nah, bro, come on.
Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna bring up that specific story again, but just like I was in a situation where I wanted someone to like, oh, you can go home,
Yeah.
you know.
I just want you to be away from me.
And I followed through with it, and it didn't, and I pretty much was an asshole because
But it's like,
I didn't let her
are
stay.
you real? If expectations were set before the thing happens, are you really an asshole? If you go into the date or like whatever into the sexual encounter and you're like, oh, by the way, like I fucking love you and like I want to date you forever, and then after you have sex, you're like, okay, get the fuck out of my house, then yeah, you're an asshole. But it's like if you go in and you're like, FYI, like I don't want anything serious. And like, I don't want you to stay over.
Mm.
And if you say that in like a nice way or whatever, you make it clear. You're like, yo, like, you can come have sex, but like, just I'm gonna kick you out after.
I
That's
feel
not a
like more
dick
people.
move.
Almost no one does that though. I think people should though, because I've had women
Because
say that, and I was like, oh, this is like, have you ever had a woman be like so weirdly healthy that about some shit that you're like, oh fuck, I didn't even realize you could do it like that. You know what I mean?
yes,
Yeah, right,
So
right.
I do know
she
what
was
you
just
mean.
like, hey, I'd love to have you come over, and I do understand. Like she was just super clear with it, like on some just like almost. Yeah, so she was just like, "Hey, you should come
Dude,
over," and this was like the first
I
time we
just
hang
sorry.
out.
I love the phrase weirdly healthy. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you? You got all your shit together, you know?
Get this shit together,
It's
boy.
some other
God.
because some shit is so healthy to the point that it's unhealthy though, which I can get into later. But sometimes it's like y'all are being so direct with shit that it's now just back weird again. And I've
It's
experienced that
always
as
good
well.
to be honest.
Exactly, like because
It's always
polyamorous
going to be
people,
honest and communicate.
they get too much with it sometimes, where it's just like, so I just wanted you to like. So I'm going over to like suck this guy's dick tonight, and I just wanted to like check in with you about how you're feeling about that. And so I wanted to, investigate your feelings. So let's just do an unpacking session for about an hour before I do this because I'm going to do anal with my other friend, and I want to have a kissing session. And it's like, y'all are being healthy to a
I know.
point where it's like, some stuff is meant to be left unsaid. Or even
like
the way they flirt be
Dude.
weird as shit. Like, hey, like I thought you were really attractive, and I'd love to like hang out with you and maybe potentially do some kissing. It's like, it's like it's a
Maybe
little bit off.
potentially do some kissing.
Yeah,
That's
Do
like
some
I
kissing. I'm gonna use
yes.
that.
but let me
Yeah.
tell you what,
Go to the
what old
bars.
girl told me.
Yeah,
She
sorry, go
says-
ahead.
No, she says you should come over, and then she says because usually a lot of this shit gets left to implication, and I agree that maybe that's not the best way to do it. So she's like, you should come over and I understand that this is potentially a sexual scenario. I'm not necessarily promising anything, but I understand I'm inviting you to my home, so like, and we've been sexting, so we're probably gonna fuck, assuming that we both want to.
Tight.
And she was like, but I
Lit.
just want to let you know, like, I have trouble sharing my bed, so if you do, I would like for you to take into account that I'd like to sleep alone, which means let's just talk about the time and stuff if it gets late. Like, a lot of people don't like having to. So I was like, oh, so I'm just some little hoe. But I appreciate that. Okay, cool, fair. Like, that's totally
Yeah.
reasonable. And I was like, but I've never
Yeah.
said no shit like that to a woman since then. I just thought that was great, but I've never utilized that. But I wish I had the courage to just be like, hey, I'd love for you to come over for Netflix and chill. By the way, I'd also like you to leave afterward. How do you feel about that?
I feel like 95% of people who would receive that message, man or woman, would react like you, Eddie. But the thing is that the people delivering the message are fucking freaked out. Like all of us here are like, no way would I say that to a girl because she would lose her fucking mind. But like that's not true. I feel like most of the
You're
time,
right.
if you say it in a respectable way, like it just somebody said it to you respectfully. They were like, yo, like I'm so down, like you're hot, like let's fuck, but like I just want to sleep alone. It's not like a fuck you. I just want to sleep. And you were like, okay, like that's super logical. Like, yeah,
I
I'll
was
do
kind of
that.
low key hurt.
And then,
I mean,
oh,
you're
were you?
you're no, you're
I'm
you're
sure
100.
you were a
You're
little
right, and
salty.
You're right, and I think most women wouldn't have an issue, and most men probably wouldn't have
Mm,
an issue. But it does. I
mm.
don't know. I feel different about this shit. I feel like you supposed to sleep over. That's how I feel. That's how I just
Um,
feel.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, yeah. But sometimes like you really just do want to get a nut and just kind of be in your own bed or just be back in your own space.
Yeah.
And but
On,
ideally speaking, if you like somebody or you don't really mind their company, then yeah, for sure, to
mm,
spend the night, you know, at least.
dude,
but
for
don't it
me, it's
usually?
it's logistics. Like I just have an awful time sleeping. I have a really hard time, like a pretty like particular bedtime routine, and if I don't
Mm,
get sleep, I'm like a fucking mess. And so if I have somebody over and I'm trying to sleep with somebody, I'm like just thinking about them and then they're touching me and then I'm like have anxiety that I know I'm not gonna have a bad sleep and my next day
mm,
is gonna so it's just like awful. And it's really just like about sleep. It's not like a fuck you to the person. I bet you I'd be a guy where it's like if I got married, I would have separate beds eventually because it's just like,
Oh
dude, like
wow.
I just wanna sleep in my own thing. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe I just get a big fuck off king, but
no,
whatever.
but a lot of people are for it because Alvin has talked. Like Alvin has said
Yeah.
that that's what he wants, and like a lot of people agreed. Like mostly women agree with him, so I get it. But I think for me, I actually sleep quite well with someone next to me. Like I think I actually probably sleep better. So I think that's the thing. I think I actually
Wow.
sleep better with a person next to me than not actually. Yeah, pretty. Yeah,
Dang.
no, I think I can say that with relative confidence. And when I want
Wow.
someone to leave
That's
my
wild.
bed, it's because, as you said, Josh, like sometimes you just want to get a nut off, but if you get along with the person, so it's like when I want a girl to leave, it's because I don't really like her, and in my mind, I'm starting to think, if I don't really like you, why am I fucking you? You know what I'm saying? Like
Yep,
that. So that's kind of
dude.
that's kind of my view.
This is so it sounds so stupid to say, but I've been really on that tip lately of like getting to know women before having sex with them,
It'd be wild.
which is
It'd be
like, oh,
wild.
oh, word, yeah, yeah.
This is gonna sound so stupid. But I've been on this kick.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
just
I'm
learning of this
just
hot new tip. You know what I mean?
Have you
Like,
guys tried empathy? Have you heard about this empathy stuff? It's pretty fucking dope, bro.
holy shit. Did you guys know that women are fucking people too?
I tried taking
Yo,
ayahuasca, and I
no,
think, bro, I think women have feelings, bro. I don't know. I
yeah,
think
but
we
yo,
do too. It's crazy.
I
that's
know
crazy.
what I
But
sound
like,
like.
I'm glad to hear. But more men, especially as they get older, really make that realization. Like
Yeah, we do.
maybe I should like slow down, just actually get to know this person, or they might go through a heartbreak or some shit that makes them realize how women feel when they've been doing the very same thing to them.
Well, a couple things happened for me. One, there was this lady I got with that was a total babe, but like, and I was like, for so long I was like, dude, if she's like fucking hot, then it doesn't matter. She's just so hot. Like I'm so
Hmm.
down. I'll have sex with her, whatever.
Hmm
Helps a
She was a
lot.
total babe. She was so fucking obnoxious, and I like
Mm,
couldn't stand to hear her speak.
Yeah.
And then I was like, she hit me up, whatever, like a while ago, and was like, "What's up, man? Like, you want to do something?" And I was like, I tried to be like, "Yeah," but I was like, in my head, I was like, "Fuck no, fuck no, no,
Mm.
no, don't talk to me." You know what I mean? And then I had to do this whole thing. I was like, "What? This lady's a dime," but like, it sounds, and again, it sounds so stupid because it's like, yeah, no shit, you idiot. Like, if you don't
Yeah.
like, like, you know what I mean?
You're just letting a
But,
hottie rail you
but
who
yeah,
you hated, like essentially.
yeah. So it was so whack. So then that happened. And then also I noticed that like if I went on a lady like a first date and I had the potential to get laid and like I took it, a lot of the times I would feel really shitty about myself. And I didn't really understand that like I was basically like feeling like a slut or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah, that's what it is.
like
mm.
'cause I basically like just, you know, I don't know, like didn't it's like you're giving yourself away too easily.
It's
You got to be
exactly what
like
it is.
that
Yeah.
whole yeah, I know.
No, I'm
It's like
agreeing
the
with
whole
you on the same that I've had the
I
same
know.
realization. Yeah.
Okay, respect, respect.
Not
Yeah,
that
I'm
you're
glad I'm
dumb
not the
for
only
like
big idiot.
I'm right there with you. Like we dumb together. I'm right there with you. Yeah.
But it's that whole like, king shit. Like, yo, you're a king too. Like, dog, like don't just give the dick away. Don't give your time away.
No.
Like people got to earn it. Women, friends, like people have to earn your time. You're dope. Man, this is like
And your nut energy.
if my friends are yeah, I mean, when I started going to therapy, one of the big things that my therapist told me is like, yo, Tom, like you have value, like you have
Mm-hmm.
value as a
Mm-hmm.
person. And that
Mm-hmm.
was a really big like mantra and life changer for me. And anyway, so now I say it all the time whenever I'm like faced with whatever some challenge, so it comes
Yeah.
up a lot. But in this case too, like, you have value, I have value, so I'm not just gonna like, fuck some lady just 'cause I can or just 'cause like we're both down or whatever.
Or because you
Right.
need to prove to yourself that that you can.
Right.
I feel
Yes,
like
that's
that's
the
a
other
big one.
thing.
Right.
And yes, and that's
Right.
huge. Prove to yourself and all your homies that you're Big Dick McGee and like, you get pussy and shit. Which you
Yeah.
think is like a dude in like like I always thought as like a guy, like from an educated family, like in a developed nation, I'm like, oh dude, like I'm fucking woke. Like I fucking got it. I'm not I won't succumb to such stupid classic like male bullshit as like I need to prove to people I get laid. But dude, I totally succumbed to it big time. And it
Everybody
was
does.
like,
We all do. We all do.
and
Women do
so
too. Like, just to be clear, everyone wants to
yeah,
be
yeah.
perceived as attractive, and for men, that
The
means
word.
getting sex. So I think
And
that's
wants
like
it.
normal.
Yeah. So I figured all this shit out, and then that's why I'm just doing this realization. I'm like, dude, I'm just gonna get to know these people, and that's, it sounds dumb, but it's a really good. Like it's not dumb, but it sounds dumb that I'm realizing now. You guys get it, but it's a positive
Yeah.
positive thing. So
Maybe I got
I
to
mean,
let these
hey,
women run through me,
exactly. You
just so
gotta
they'll
earn it,
think I'm
man.
pretty. You know what I mean? It's weirdly like some like you're like this beautiful little thing that's like sitting, and there's people coming across, and they're like, "Oh, can I have some?" And you're like, "Oh, you think I'm pretty? Here you can have some.
Yes.
Here you can. Do you want? Will you call me good?
Yeah.
Am I a good boy?" And you're just
yeah.
giving it
Too
up for
real. Too real. Fuck.
whoever
Fuck.
will validate your value. But I think we'll go into closing remarks. Anybody got some last little dimes? Not dimes. What are they called?
Well, dude,
Diamonds of knowledge.
Gyms.
Gems. That's what the
literally,
fuck. Is a diamond a gem? Yeah. So go ahead.
yeah, you're good. Literally
I think
on
it
the
is.
Right.
topic of, having value and shit, I just fucking put the kibosh on some lady on Hinge because she was like kind of being like not shitty in the conversation, but like not putting in effort. So I
Oh
was
yeah.
just like,
Now
all right,
you
like,
gotta
yeah,
Oh
shut
my
that
fuck it,
down.
God.
whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah. You gotta shut that
Absolutely.
later.
down. Cause she'll
Hell
be
And so it's
lazy in
just
a
like,
relationship. 100%.
yeah. Yep.
yeah. That's exactly what my therapist said. Eddie, you're crushing it. Nice work. Yeah.
That's me.
Absolutely.
I think I'm seeing the same
I,
person. Is it Edna? Who is it? Yeah.
no, I think
I
it's
got
crazy.
Jen Zhu. Shout out to Jen. I think I'm
Genju.
saying her
Oh,
name wrong.
okay. Real
She's
one.
dope.
Mm,
She's
Yeah,
super
she
dope.
is.
Yeah, super dope.
mm.
Yeah, yeah.
How did I know your therapist was a woman somehow?
Oh, dude, yeah. I don't
I
know
don't
if I
know.
could do with a guy therapist, but
Yeah, but they're a bit
I don't
broy.
know.
They're a bit broy.
My first therapist was a guy, and he was like stereotype therapist, like with the office and all the
Indubitably.
Mm.
vest
Yes.
and yeah, and he was not good. But Jen is fucking
Have you
super.
tried not being sad? He does the Jordan Peterson on you. Well, did you make your bed? And like, fuck you, dude. Uh,
Right. Making your bed can really just make you feel better, during the day. It's just something that you have control over, you know. It's just a great way to start your day. It's just making your
I
bed.
will say though, making my bed does make me feel better. So I don't
I
know
don't
about
make
his
my
other
bed
shit,
yet.
but I make my bed and I'm like, oh, sick. Like I'm not a total piece of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Got this
I
part
agree.
at
Yeah.
least.
But yeah, man. For those of you out there who aren't taking accountability in that way, and who are just like kind of giving your dick away for free in your life, I think a lot of y'all are waving
Don't.
red flags. But in the same vein, if you're on Hinge, seeing a girl be completely fucking lazy in the conversation, making no effort to continue the conversation, you're
Or Bumble.
100%. Or Bumble, or Tinder, if you're still using that, you know what I mean? Okay, Cupid, Plenty of Fish,
Or plenty of
Match,
fish. Yeah.
Raya, if you got money like that, if you stacking it up,
Ooh.
cool.
Yo, are you guys on? Sorry, there's a black dating app though. I wanted to
This
ask if you guys
motherfucker.
are on it.
No, we're
Black people
not.
meet.
Yeah, no, we're not on that. Jesus Christ.
It's just
Yeah,
called
no.
Black though. I just thought it was funny.
Is
It's
this
just
called
BLK.
black? I'm definitely not
That
on that
sounds
yet.
kind of
Straight up.
sleek.
Are, we,
I don't know. That sounds kind of
are only black people allowed? Because I just feel like fetishizers would like flood
black.
that app, and I'm not
I
interested.
don't know because I saw a clip. It was a brown guy doing stand up, And then he asked this couple in the audience, like, "What's up with y'all?" And they were like,
Oh,
"Oh,
we
we
met
met
on
on a
Black.
dating app." And he's like, "Which one?" Black. And then he was like, "Would I be allowed on?" Because he's, but they didn't really get like a good answer. So like, I don't fucking know. Like,
That's a
maybe there's a
difficult one.
slide you have to take a
Oh
picture of
shit.
yourself or something. I
And
don't
they
fucking
do,
know.
yeah.
So
Because there's like shit on Reddit that where they have to confirm your race. And you're like, no, but I'm light skinned. And it's like, okay, well, now we got to take the calipers out and measure your
yeah,
fucking nose and lip width to like figure out, oh, can we let you on here, you
the
know?
palettes.
That's
You know
Yeah.
the
crazy.
paint palettes would be like, put it up. I don't
Facial
know.
recognition and shit like that. They've got like a cutout of
That's
a
crazy.
face that they put on top of your face. But anyway, all of those things would be red flags, or you'd be seeing them, or somebody would be waving them, or you'd be waving them, or they'd be sewing them, or whatever. It's been Eddie, it's been Josh, it's been Tom DL Murphy. Follow, subscribe, turn on the bell for our YouTube channel, obviously. But Tom, what should the people check out of yours? Are you touring? Are you whatever?
Yeah,
Are you
not touring.
podcast?
You can get me on Instagram, Tom DL Murphy. That's a great place to kind of get a little intro to my podcast. Lots of little funny clips. I put up about one a week. And then my podcast, Things I Hate, is on YouTube. Just search for Tom DL Murphy, all one word, on YouTube. You can also find it on iTunes and Spotify under Things I Hate. Look for the picture of me with the kick-ass mullet.
It is very kick-ass.
Oh yeah.
The
Hell
ladies are
yeah.
loving the mullet. So
Yeah, ladies love. They hated the red hair, but they like the mullet. They like the shaved head. So
yeah.
It's a red flag.